What's up YouTube? Nate here. While I was on vacation, I ate at a lot of really cool restaurants. And well, want to give you guys a review. So today I'm going to review at Epcot Center, Japanese Pavilion, Tokyo Dining. Welcome back. So, as I said, I recently went on a nice fun trip down to Orlando, Florida with my family over the holiday season. And while we were there, we decided to spend one day at the theme parks. And one of those that day that we were there, I decided to see, what type of fancy restaurant could I take Ruu-chan to while we were at Epcot Center. I remember my family taking me to the revolving restaurant there at the Lands Pavilion there at Epcot, and when I went looking for it, looks like they changed their menu. It was a buffet now rather than a sit down dinner and whatnot. So it wasn't exactly what we were looking for. Then we started looking around for different places. A nice fancy restaurant there at the Canadian Pavilion. Of course, you got the places in France and Italy and whatnot to go to. But being Otaku and Ruu-chan really loving Japanese food, I said, hey, let's see what they have there at the Japanese Pavilion. Well, they had two pretty fine dining restaurants. They've got a teppanyaki grill. They're, hibachi for some people who may not know the word teppanyaki, but they also have a place where they do more standard Japanese dining. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about Tokyo Dining. It's right there, right above the giant gift shop that they have there at the Japanese Pavilion. And I mean, looking at some of the gift shops and things that they have at some of the other pavilions, the Tokyo one, the one there at Japan, is just huge. And right above it is this really cool little restaurant that you can sit down at and have a nice fancy dinner, albeit with Japanese food. Overall, the atmosphere was kind of nice. It was a little loud. And they were running a little behind that night. We had gotten a reservation because it is the type of restaurant that you need a reservation. In fact, when I was going out trying to find a reservation for it, I could not get a reservation for your standard dinner times. In fact, it was either 4:20 or 8:20 was the time that we had available to actually eat. So I opted for the later in the day for 8:20, so we can actually sit down and eat, when it was dark outside, see the lights and everything in the lagoon there, and just kind of enjoy ourselves as we have a nice fancy meal. And it was a nice meal. It was a fancy meal. It was a little bit on the expensive side, but you know what? It was worth it. The restaurant, the meals there, ranged from pretty much $25 to $60 a pop, depending on what you get. And overall, what we all got was really enjoyable. You can check out their menu from the Walt Disney website, a really good place to go to in order to see all the different types of foods and whatnot and plan your trips. It's where I found the original thing, and we were going through the menu, and I picked out a few things that I potentially wanted. And then when I got there, what I was really looking forward to eat, they didn't have on the menu. I was looking forward to the panko covered chicken. Because I wanted to try, some panko chicken. I thought that was, kind of neat. I wanted that over top of the teriyaki chicken, because I've had teriyaki chicken, and teriyaki's okay, but it's not the quite flavor that really sits with me too well. So I decided, I wanted to try, the panko breaded chicken, and I thought that would be really good and really enjoyable, but it wasn't on the menu that night. Pretty much like Narcoossee's, it seems like they print their menu pretty much nearly every day, and they pick and choose what they want to serve. Now, what they did have, though, was a tempura medley. I don't remember what they called that. I think it was like it wasn't sangria, it was something was what they called it, and it was basically you got chicken, shrimp, and vegetable tempura, as well as some rice and other things along with it. Now, when I ordered, I said, hey, is it okay if I order this but get all chicken? And the waitress was like, sure, I can do that for you. And that's what I got. I got myself chicken tempura for dinner. And it was really, really tasty. I'd actually haven't had chicken tempura ever. Every chance that I've gotten to actually get tempura and go to a place that served tempura, they didn't have chicken, or I didn't have money at the time in order to buy in or whatnot. So this is my first chance to actually enjoy some tempura chicken, and it was really, really tasty. It's lightly breaded, lightly fried, really juicy, really tasty. I was able to pick up and eat with my chopsticks really well, and overall it was really enjoyable. The only problem that I had is that, well, it wasn't as filling as I wish it had been. Now granted, I didn't eat any of the rice. I didn't eat the little salad that came with it, and that was pretty much about all that came with that meal. You got 6 pieces of tempura and some rice and a little bit of salad and some dipping sauce. Now, I didn't try the dipping sauce. Sauce is not really my thing, but, you know, with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, it was perfect, exactly what I wanted, and it tasted really good. So, I might be looking up some tempura recipes and add that to my arsenal of different types of meals to have for the future. So, you know, that's really good. Now, you know, talking about the atmosphere there a little bit, like I said, it was kind of loud. There's a lot of people there. Obviously, you know, because it's in the park, there's not really a dress code or anything like that. But yeah, you still had to get a reservation. When you walk up all of these steps, later found out that there was an elevator, so we used that on the way back down. But on the way up, we walked up the steps, and we've got a nice little balcony area that you can see out onto the lagoon and see everything, a bunch of windows inside. You get in there, and all of the waitresses, all the staff there are Japanese. They pretty much the whole entire World Showcase there at Epcot, every single pavilion, there are authentic people from those countries that are over there. So you go to the English pavilion, and you've got some English people there. And you go to the German, they're German. You go to Japanese, they're Japanese. And it was kind of cool. You know, I was wearing a Rainbow Dash shirt because it was the lightest shirt that I had with me. In fact, it was the whole face Rainbow Dash t-shirt that I have. And Ruu-chan was wearing a lighter shirt as well that also had Rainbow Dash, but it had the words Rainbow Dash written in Japanese. And all of the girls there, the waitresses, everybody who saw that really, really liked it. They're like, oh, it says Rainbow Dash. And we're like, yeah, we know it says Rainbow Dash. But they thought that was really cool and really neat. The waitresses were really friendly, really really helpful. I mean, she basically brought me out everything. We started off with this moist towel to, you know, clean ourselves up. And I ordered some hot sake. They had a bunch of sake available, and I thought about getting some, but there was one, it was like $17 for a glass. And while I was looking for a nice fancy meal, I wasn't necessarily looking to spend $17 on a drink. So instead I got your standard hot sake, you know, just a small, I didn't need a large of it, and had 1 cup, and you know, as you should do, I didn't pour for myself. Ruu-chan poured for me. She was a little bit on the sick side, so she didn't want to drink any alcohol or really have much, but she did take a few sips of it. And overall, it was really tasty. The sake was good. It was hot sake. It wasn't, you know, wasn't the more upscale, colder sake, but it was hot, and it was still good and tasty, and I enjoyed that. And then, you know, they brought out the meal, and that was really cool. The meal came out a little bit quicker than I was expecting, but then again, they are in the park and whatnot, and so while they did have a bit more of the atmosphere, it's okay to sit down due to the packedness and everything. And you know, the day that we went, it definitely felt like they were trying to kind of rush us out the door, though it did take the waitress a little while to get back in order to grab the payment. Now granted, I paid cash and we were pretty much set, but I wanted to make sure she got it before we got up and left. And of course, you know, Ruth had to wish everybody a happy new year and everything and whatnot, and everyone was really polite, really helpful. It was just a nice, pleasant experience all around. Granted, my wallet hated me a little bit for it, but you know what? That's okay. In fact, actually, the whole entire meal wound up costing me more than the White Day meal that I went on in order to propose to Ruu-chan. But, you know, that all aside, really good food, really enjoyable atmosphere, and I will probably go back there again. And maybe next time I go back there, I'll see if they may have French fries available in the back for me so I could potentially substitute a little bit out. But if not, that's perfectly okay. All in all, though, I thought it was a great experience. I really enjoyed it. Hey guys, thanks for sticking with me to the very end. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. It helps me out and also notifies you when I release new videos. And if you want to see more content, why not check out one of the videos I've got linked right here. And it would also be really sweet if you consider helping my channel grow by supporting me on Patreon. I mean, how can you say no to that dancing fool on the screen there? Dancing fairy princess.